Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm back again, man. What time is it? It's like 4 in the morning. Oh, damn. That's probably a better reason to do that song. You know what? Let's do that. I was going to do a whole other song, but, damn. It wouldn't be right if I don't do this other song instead. Anyway, what's up, y'all? You know, I had in my head that I was gonna do a whole breakdown of a specific song in mind, but you know, I'm looking at the time. You know, it's 4:00 in the morning. I'm here posted up at the hotel, right? And what I was gonna do is I was going to break down one of my songs for y'all, right? But considering that it's 4 in the morning, I feel like it's only right to bring back, especially maybe it's Thursday. Today's Thursday, so all the stars are aligning, bro. For Thursday at 4 in the morning, I'm going to break down an old song of mine that I put out. It was produced by DJ Tr3s, and the song is called 4, right? F-O-U-R. It's only available on SoundCloud and on YouTube. We had filmed a video for it. It's not on all streaming platforms. It's only on Spotify. It's only on SoundCloud and on YouTube, right? But fuck it, let's go ahead and get into it. One thing that I've been trying to do for a little minute is get into the routine of. I noticed that a lot of artists, they don't really go out of their way to really break down songs for their listeners, and I get it. Like, I understand. I agree with that decision. To me, it's a preference. Like, I know that when I chop it up with Mowgli, and I'll send him a record or whatever, every now and then I'll just kind of shoot him a little annotation, a little annotation of what this lyric might mean, what this might mean, whatever. But mind you, Mowgli is a songwriter as well, so he doesn't need no explanation, He gets it. But because he's also a songwriter, it feels good to be able to speak that type of language with someone that understands the thought process behind some of these rhymes. You get me? So this is the first time that I'm doing it, document it, and I didn't really do too much planning behind this song that we're about to get into, because I had in my head to do a whole other song. But let's just get into it, man. Some time ago, my man DJ Tr3s, I want to say this was this had to have been in 2000, I don't know, 2013, maybe 2014, something like that. I don't have the release date in front of me, but DJ Tr3s hit me up one night. I used to live in the Southwest over here, in South Miami. I used to live on 67th Avenue in Southwest 30th Street, and I was still kind of living with my mom's at the time, but not really, because I was paying rent. We had a little efficiency, we had a little efficiency in the back, and I had my little studio set up there, right? So, he hits me up like, "Yo, what's poppin'? Check out this beat." And yeah, this is what it ended up being. It's called 4. Now you're gonna hear me play the record and then pause it at certain points. We're gonna talk about it and press play. I might run it back, etc. I hope that this doesn't become annoying, because like you, I also like to just, obviously play the record and just let it vibe out. But for the purpose of this video, excuse me, of this podcast or whatever, we're gonna be abruptly pausing and then running it back or whatever, just so that we can talk about this song, So this is a fan favorite. It's a song called 4. Check it out.
Yeah. Tr3s. The after midnight theme, 4 in the morning blunt theme. Stay up at night writing songs, the days of my life. Daily they try, take a stab in the dark. You see they facing the knife, that's why I have to be sharp. 12 a.m. is mine, yeah, I made my mark. See, my name is Art, I ain't saying it.
Yo, you know what's crazy, man? This is the first time that I hear this song in a little while, because I be rehearsing my music and I'll run it back, but I'll be listening to the live versions of these songs and then I'll go into it. You feel me? Damn, I sound young, bro. I sound younger in this record, man. It feels good. It feels good to hear like a younger me, hungry like a fucking younger me. It feels good to hear like a younger me, bro. What do I say? I go, stay up at night writing songs, the days of my life. Daily they try to take a stab in the dark. You see they facing the knife, it's why they have to be sharp. 12 a.m. is mine, yeah, I made my mark. Man, I love writing, bro. Writing raps to me is the creative craft that I choose to, like, a disfrutar la vida, to really enjoy life. For me, it's writing raps. It's crazy, right? Like, I'm a night owl, so I spend my time trying to enjoy my life, which is by writing raps. And I've always been a night owl, bro. Always. I don't know what it is about it, but I've always been a night owl. Always. I had homies that would invite me over to go kick it with some girls when I was in high school or something. And then, let's go to this little party or something. And then we'll hit up La Vaquita, the little the little cow, you know what I'm talking about, the little drive-through cow stores where everything's a little overpriced, but they have a wide selection of stuff for you to to buy at a late hour. So when I'll be in Miami Lakes and we'll kick it with some girls or whatever, and then when we're done, we're like, man, let's go and get something to eat. But we wasn't trying to spend like Denny's money, and Taco Bell at that hour was already way too late. I don't even think they was open till 4, till 4 in the morning back then, but La Vaquita was, you feel me? So I just got accustomed to staying up at a late hour, always, Then after that, I feel like my internal clock may have recalibrated itself to kind of like want to be up at night. And it's no surprise that now, I work at an overnight job, and I'm just kind of, for the most part, I'm used to it. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of looking forward to just having a regular sleep schedule at some point, but yeah, man, this goes back, bro. Stay up at night writing songs, the days of my life. And like writing songs, the days of my life. You know how you have some rappers, some MCs, like they'll tell you that, oh, I just write songs of my life, which is, for the most part, is true. And I always feel like I had a harder time writing fictional songs about fictional characters to convey some type of point, like, or a moral of the story, like Immortal Technique with Dance with the Devil, or like the whole When Life Gives You Lemons, You Paint That Shit Gold album. Or, there's a bunch of artists. Brenda's Got a Baby, where like they'll write a song from the perspective of another person to convey a point. I did that a couple times. I got a song called Hollywood that It's from the perspective of another person. But for the most part, man, like I always felt the need to just kind of like document my life. You feel me? So yeah. Now, let's keep going. Let's see. This is cool. I like doing this.
4 in the morning, blunt fiend. Stay up at night writing songs, the days of my life. Daily they try, take a stab in the dark. You see they facing the knife, that's why I have to be sharp. 12 a.m. is mine, yeah, I made my mark. See, my name is Art.
Damn, you know what's crazy about that? It's like 12 a.m. is mine, yeah, I made my mark. This is funny. Yo, hey, no lie, bro. Like, so some years ago, my man Kimber had had hooked me up with, he's really good at arts and crafts as far as like, like for example, the Morera EP, he did it. That's why you see the little KV in the corner, because that's his initials. He made that cover, right? He took a picture of my face, ran it through a program that kind of turns photographs into stencil ready prints. He printed it out, he cut it out, and then he did like a nebula style splash of colors on a canvas, and then he spray painted the stencil on top of that, and then the letters, and that's what the cover of Morera is, right? And so one day I hit him up like, yo man, this was, mind you, this is like in 2000, I want to say in 2012, when I hit him up for this favor. I was like, yo, man, hook me up with some 12 a.m. stencils, right? And he did. I still have them to this day. They're in a suitcase somewhere. But we got one of those vanilla folders that you put documents in, that opens kind of like a taco. And then we did 2 of them, like a 12 a.m. on one and a 12 a.m. on the other, so that I would run around the street with a red spray can and then hit up the sidewalks, and I'll be able to spray 2 at a time, kind of, when Grand Central was still a venue, and over here in downtown, it's no longer there, but when Grand Central was there, that whole strip of sidewalks had 12 a.m. on the lower right-hand corner, right? Allegedly. And I remember back then, I didn't really see too many stencils, bro. Like stencils in downtown, I feel like on the sidewalk wasn't really too much of a thing. Like most of the spray paint was on the walls, not on the sidewalks, So I was, during those days, I was really going hammer on trying to establish 12 a.m. as my brand, you feel me? Like my birthday is January 12th. And my name is Art Morera, so 12 a.m. You feel me? That is, and then also there's a whole backstory. Oh my bad guys, this XLR cable is bugging out. I'm gonna have to get some new ones, but there's a whole symbolism behind 12 a.m. as well, obviously, and I was really like adamant of going out of my way and just putting 12 a.m. everywhere. I printed out some banners, and I would hang the banners up. You'll see my name, Art Morera, my website, and then the logo, 12 a.m., And I feel like that's what, it kind of bothered me that some years later, this other local artist from down here called 12 Len, 12 apostrophe Len, 12 Len, had came out with some music video of him with some homies at either Stannis Enchanted Forest or some like theme park, which was cool. Like the song is actually good. I enjoyed the record. But then at the end they flashed 12 a.m. and his name is 12 Len. And I'm thinking like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I'm pretty sure that I did a pretty good job of making it known that 12 a.m. was a brand that I had established, so what's the whole symbolism behind 12 a.m. with this other local artist? If it's another artist in another state, in another country, on another planet, in another galaxy, I would understand, because it's like, I wasn't really I wasn't really nationally known at that time. You feel me? But this is in the city, and not only just in the whole city, but more specifically in the music community. I feel like 12 a.m. was mine. Yeah, I made my mark, So I don't know if maybe this lyric at that time was in reference to that, but I was making it a point to be like, yo, cuz, like, to the whole, to everybody, yo, guys, when you see 12 a.m., through the power of branding, and establishing myself and what I stand for, like, 12 a.m. is mine. You know what I mean? So this is what I was coming off at when I wrote that lyric.
After be sharp, 12 a.m. is mine. Yeah, I made my mark. See, my name is Art. I ain't saying it twice. You see it all at my shows. Promoters paying me nice. Checks fill up the fridge the moment they'll arrive. Be your own.
You know what's funny, man? Like, at that time, the promoters that I was working with, they paid me. I sold tickets. I sold tickets, and then also through some negotiations with some other local promoters and stuff, like, they would try to hit me with, like, well, I'll pay you if you bring people out. And my rebuttal to that was, well, aside from the people that I bring out, I'm also keeping the rest of the people in the venue when I'm there too. Like, I've thrown shows where the artists that I would book, they would do their thing, but then somewhere along the line, somebody else performs and they are not good at all. And then people leave. People leave because the quality of the show goes down substantially. And they're like, okay, time to go, man. Like that SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm gonna head out. That's for real. Hey, for real, bro. That's like that. Damn, this XLR cable is fucking. Man, it's really killing my vibe. Cause, all right, well, so I would tell promoters, I'll be like, all right, yes, you are paying me for my draw, for people that come out and spend money to watch me perform. But I'm also providing entertainment for everyone else that's there that didn't come out to see me. And that has to have some type of value too. And promoters at that time, there was a couple homies that were throwing shows, and they was like, all right, you know what? This is true. All right, fuck it, man. I'll just pay you just to kind of be a part of the bill, which I appreciate, man. And yo, no lie, what I would do with that little money, bro, because I didn't have any merch at the time to also make money with. I was just there to perform and promote the show leading up to it. And I would get this money and just spend it on groceries, bro, or like food. We'll go to Denny's after, or we'll hold it down, and the next day I would just go to a grocery store and just buy a couple things to fill up the fridge, For real, man.
Only way to survive. Invest the moment they'll arrive. Be your own boss. Only way to survive.
It's true.
Invest in myself. I ain't taking a dive. It's either sink or swim. All I think is win.
You know what's funny, man? Like, man, I go invest in myself. I ain't taking a dive. It's either sink or swim. All I think is win. And bro, to this day, if anything, even more so nowadays, man. Like back then, my mind was thinking on investing in myself as in studio equipment, not paying for studio time, and maybe getting some stickers printed and a banner or something, right? I check my email and I have pending things coming in the mail already. Like today, I'm always putting money back. Whenever I could afford it, I'm always putting money back in what I'm working on, be it stickers or CDs or shirts or the size tags that go on the back of the shirt. Whatever it is, bro. I'm like, I always had that mentality of invest in yourself, man. You know, because if you don't have money in it, how can you expect to make money out of it? You feel me? Like, how can you expect to monetize what you do if you don't have any money invested into it? You might not even like make a return, bro. Maybe the first couple rounds that you spend money, you're spending in all the wrong directions, you know? Like, I have a homie that had a publicist for a few months that was overcharging him, but he knew that having a publicist was a good idea, and the lesson behind that is knowing when you're being overcharged, like when they're under delivering, and knowing what's the right fit for you, you know? So, you know, I feel like it's a lot easier to have that mentality of like that you're gonna come out on top when you're investing in yourself. So that's why I was like, invest in myself. I ain't taking a dive. It's either sink or swim. All I think is win. You know what I'm saying? For real, bro.
Ideas for all the ink in my pen. So much to be seen, I'll never blink again. Bags under my eyes, lines over they head like, wait, run it back one more time. Who the fuck am I? Underground artist blowing up, I ain't want to undermine.
Hey, that's hard. Damn, hey Tr3s, bro. Man, this is a good ass record, bro. Shit, man. For real, bro. Like, you know, all these ideas for all this ink in my pen. So much to be seen, I'll never blink again. Bags under my eyes, lines over they head like, wait, run that back one more time. You know what's funny? Man, I'm gonna tell you, like, when I was younger, right? When I was younger, certain artists that I would listen to was much more their syllable count, you know, under my eyes. Like, they would force the same amount of syllables to have this seemingly perfect rhyme scheme, right? Under my eyes, couple of times, puffing on dimes, you know what I'm saying? Bum, 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 bum. And then you have guys like Jay-Z, who is much more fluid with his rhyme patterns, and he's the guy that kind of showed me that you don't have to be so forced with the syllable count. And man, like the jazziness behind that, you can tell even nowadays. I have this other record where I go you've heard me speak of this mountain. Well, this mountain I speak of is up in Humboldt County and N.O.R.E. south of Eureka. Right here I go. Perfect place for rejects that want to start over, but to reach the other side, first the tape must eject. We measure time, how the earth rotates, and from east to west goes a day. Maybe that's the reason I left. So I start off that rhyme pattern with perfect place for rejects. And then first the tape must eject. And then earth rotates from east to west. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll add and I'll take out a syllable here and there, but not because the last thing I want to do is sacrifice what I'm saying because the words that are available don't match up perfectly with the amount of syllables. I used to kind of be like that, and that really limited the writing. Whereas nowadays, or really since 2012, 2011, like I understood that, you know, under my eyes, like underground artists blowing up, I ain't one to undermine. You know, you don't have to be so perfectly structured, you feel me? But anyway, back to like the actual subject matter, right? Like, mind you, this is a song written from the perspective of a night owl that's trying to get it, you know? And during that time, I had a bunch, man, I was barely sleeping. I had mad bags under my eyes, you know? And I would write songs and then show it to the homies and look and like kind of like watch them while they're listening to the record. And a lot of lines would go over their heads, you know? Like, and I'll be like, damn, maybe I should explain it to them. Which is why even to this day I have that habit where I'll break down a record to like my dog Mowgli or whatever. It's because I want to be understood as much as possible. You know, I don't want to be one of these like enigmatic artists that is so mysterious, you know, like Batman. You look back and he's gone. Like, what? Nah, man, I like during my time here, I'm not really trying to be so cryptic, you know? So I don't know, that's just where my head was at the time, at least.
Being stepped on, gassed up and X'd on. Put it all in my music. Learn more in my next song. 24-hour gas station. It's an adventure for a Dutch, going there and back skate. 4 in the morning, blunt roll. 4 in the morning, blunt roll. Record Andy.
Hey. Hell yeah, bro. Man, for real, bro. You know, when you do a lot for the people around you, you extend that olive branch. More often than not, you're gonna be taken advantage of, bro. You know? More often than not, you're gonna be taken advantage of, bro. They're gonna step on you. They're gonna kind of cast you to the side. It's all a learning experience, bro. Man, I'm so happy I switched out the XLR cable, bro. Like, I cut it out from the episode, but the XLR cable that I was using, like, I'm gonna have to replace it or something, man. I think if you buy a live wire one from Guitar Center, there's a lifetime warranty. You can just go there and they'll switch it out for you. But man, like, I've been stepped on, gassed up and X'd on. You know, like X on the gas station, gassed up and X'd on. I put it all in my music. Learn more in my next song. You know, like on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z kind of shit, you know? And okay, I understand now. Where I was living at wasn't on 30th Street. I was living by right by 24th Street and 57th Avenue, because I was still in efficiency, but there was a gas station right on the corner of Coral Way and 57th Avenue. I even think to this day, the little New Times, the little green box that the newspaper, you just kind of open up the little plastic door and you get a newspaper out of. On top of it, I put a 12 a.m. sticker. And I remember the last time I went there, which was over a year ago, the sticker was still there, but obviously all the color had faded. So it's just like the remains of the black ink, and whatever was red is now white, and it went from white to like a grayish kind of beige color, very aged. But the sticker was there, man. And I would like record songs, and then when it's time to take a break, I'll grab my skateboard and I'll skate not even 2 blocks. It's like I'll just get out and skate to the end of the block and then cut a left, and the gas station was right there. You know, so this chorus was written on the mission to get a Dutch, because I would always have the little headphones, the little earbuds, and I would, even to this day, bro, like that's what I do. I make a beat, I export the beat and bounce and put it into my phone, and I'll go around, I'll walk outside, or I'll go for a drive or whatever it is while I write the lyrics. So that's how I came up with the hook for this song, right? 24-hour gas station. It's an adventure. And what's funny is that, again, bro, like that's my starting point. The way I start most of my whatever it is that I'm writing is literally like almost like an establishing shot of a movie. You know, I'll say what I'm doing or where I am at that very moment, and that's that starting point. 24-hour gas station. It's an adventure for a Dutch, going there and back skating.
24-hour gas station. It's an adventure for a Dutch, going there.
You know what I'm saying? 4 in the morning. Yeah. 4 in the morning. Record and till there's many. You take a break at 4:20. I like how 420 rhymes with record any, you know? That's hard. And I didn't think about 420 until after I said record any. You know, I was like, record any. You know that little skit from Family Guy where Stewie goes, that's like saying rap is poetry. And then it goes to the guy in the library sitting in a big chair with a feather pen writing on a scroll or something. And he goes, I'm not saying she's a gold digger, but she isn't messing with... And then he leans back and his eyes shut a little bit as he's thinking, very pensive. And he's like, who isn't she messing with? You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it's like, bro. Record any. Record any what? You know what I'm saying? Record any line that comes to mind until there's many. And then boom, the light bulb goes off. And I'm like, oh. Then take a break at 420. Damn. I love it when the rhyme is perfect, but it's not forced, bro. You know? You pluck the fruit when it's ripe, bro, for real. Record any line that comes to mind until there's many. And take a break at 420. You know what I'm saying?
Contemplating the message that the store sending. Do I sacrifice being nice to be more trendy?
You know, I feel like a lot of people do that nowadays, bro. You know? Like, contemplating the message that the story's sending. Do I sacrifice being nice to be more trendy? A lot of artists do that, man. I'm guilty of it too, way earlier in my career, before 2007. I'm guilty of that, man. Like, you want to be more appealing, so you sacrifice a bit of yourself to appeal to others more. And that's that balance, you know? That's that Libra scale that we all struggle with. How much of ourselves do we put in, and how much of ourselves do we leave out to leave room for other people to put themselves in? You know? Like, that's that Libra scale, man. And I feel like the magic trick in finding the balance between the two is talking about things that about yourself that other people more than likely also can relate to. You know, I'll write a song about my dog, man. A lot of people have dogs, but it's not about the dog, you know? It's about the sense of companionship. It might not be a dog. It might be a cat. It might be a roommate or your father or your mom or your girl or your coworkers. If you're a person that the only people you have in your life are people at work, you know? So, you know, like, how trendy do you want to be? You feel me? And how nice are you willing to be, sacrificing how trendy you won't be? You know, that's like the plight of the artist, of the recording artist, at least, you know? You know what I'm saying?
No compromise on my own shit, genre wise. Paint a picture, every song, take you on a ride. So honest, I don't gotta rhyme, but I still do a lot of times.
You know what's funny, man? Like, I'm gonna tell you, bro, like, I go, no compromise on my own shit, genre wise. Paint a picture, every song, take you on a ride. I feel like earlier in my career, people tried to, because the way that people try to, like, make sense out of what you're doing is they're gonna describe what you're doing by comparing it to other things that they are more familiar with, which makes sense. You know, if somebody goes, well, describe what you saw. They'll be like, oh man, it's kind of like this, but it's a little bit more like that, but it has a little bit of that thing over there mixed into it as well. They don't mean to say that what they saw wasn't original. They're just trying to find reference points to describe what they're talking about, you know? Whereas in hip hop, people, at first, unless if you are completely out of left field, like, there's no way that you're going to find somebody else to try to describe what A$AP Rock does 9 out of 10 times, you know? People that are really, really into hip hop might find themselves referencing guys like a Cool Keith or something, but 9 out of 10 times you show somebody an A$AP Rock and they're gonna be like, nah, I've never heard nothing like that before. Cause not that many people realistically be bumping Cool Keith nowadays, you know. At least people that I know. No offense to Cool Keith, you know, he's a legend. I'm just saying, he's more of an obscure artist, and if you try to show somebody an A$AP Rock, Cool Keith might not come to mind, you know. But when I was making, you know, like during this time, I was trying to establish myself as a unique artist, right? But well, people would like to compare me to, you know, the Drakes, and I feel like I already talked about this in the Human Sushi episode with Shadi, that you know, melodic raps was something that I was up to since like 2006, bro. You know, the group that I was in, they sat us down one day, and management had sat us down and was like, yo guys, why don't you try something a little different? Like, you know, like, why don't you play around with some melodies or something, do something else, you know? I'm butchering what they said, but the point I'm trying to make at is, like, I had been doing melodic raps for a minute, but when I would show them something I did in 2012, like years into that direction of songwriting, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's kind of like on that Drake shit. And for a while it bothered me, not because I didn't like Drake. I think Drake is fucking super dope, but like, it's because you want to be you. You don't want to be anyone else, you know? So that's why I'm like, oh, do I sacrifice being nice to be more trendy? No compromise on my own shit genre-wise. You feel me? Like, nah, man. Like, what I do is my own shit. You dig? Like, somebody had described what I do as like, oh, no, he's kind of like the Coldplay of rap, because when most of my choruses are kind of very airy and like sustained notes with harmonies coming in, and just very like, really it's because I'm heavily influenced by the Beatles. Really, that's really what it is, the Beatles, and also like Linkin Park as well. But I feel like the shit that I do is very not like them, you know. It's me, you know. So you can hear that frustration when I reference it in this little record here, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? No compromise on my own shit, genre-wise. Paint a picture, every song, take you on a ride. So honest, I don't gotta rhyme. You know what I'm saying? But I still do. A lot of times. A lot of times, only about that dollar sign. People getting their feelings hurt and expecting me to apologize for pursuing my dream, thinking of ways to manage. I see them taking advantage from my vantage point. Damn it, it's the joint aim. You know what's funny about that, bro? Like I go, a lot of times only about that dollar sign. People getting their feelings hurt and expecting me to apologize for pursuing my dream and thinking of ways to manage. I see them taking advantage from my vantage point. Like, sometimes people will want you to stop doing you so that you can start doing things for them, and then when you don't, they make it out to be like you're doing wrong by them by doing right by you, and they're like, they almost come off like entitled for an apology. You know, a lot of people go through this, bro. A lot of people go through this. Like, they want you to live in orbit to them, and that's not right, man. You know, you gotta let people be uncompromised in pursuing what they do. You know, like, and if that means that they're gonna separate themselves from you, then learn to appreciate them from a distance, because one can't be possessive. You know, and I feel like I kind of struggled with that a lot, especially like with my family and shit. Not that they were doing it from being vindictive, but because, you know, I was in my early I was in my early 20s during this time, and you know, you could be 22, 23, 24 years old, whatever, and your grandparents and your mom and your dad and them, it doesn't register to them at that time that you are no longer a kid. You're a young adult, but you're an adult nonetheless that has his own agenda, his own dreams and shit. And they'll try to tie you down with things that they want you to be a part of that you might have to sacrifice to make what you're trying to have done happen, you know. And it might not just be family, it could be friends too or whatever. But you know, people getting their feelings hurt and expect me to apologize for pursuing my dream. And I'm just thinking of ways to manage, you know. I'm working at a restaurant down the block and driving a busted up vehicle, trying to break into this extremely hard industry to get into, and you want me to like do that less than part-time so I could be your assistant full-time, you know? It's like a very hard decision to make for a lot of people, man. And I don't blame people for either decision they make, but you know, I made mine, you know?
Damn it, it's the joint, ain't it? That's what they said, just jamming as the noise faded. Blacking out on the trash beat, my brain going crazy. It's time to roll up one. I'm gonna take a trip to the 24-hour gas station. It's an adventure for a Dutch, going there and back skate.
Yo, Tr3s, man. Tr3s, I love you, cuz. Yes, sir. I should have probably told y'all to I should have probably told you to roll up one and listen to this while I explain it and take a hit from me, because I'm not smoking at the moment. But but you know what I'm saying? Like, I go, damn it, this the joint, ain't it? It's what they said, just jamming as the noise faded. Blacking out on the Tr3s beat, my brain going crazy. It's time to roll up one. I'm gonna take a trip to the 24. Damn, I love how the end of the verse can be segued perfectly into the chorus, bro. That's like awesome. You know who does that a lot, really, really good? Eminem. Eminem will make like a run-on sentence in the last two bars that segues perfectly into the chorus, you know? And it's like, I'm gonna take a trip to the 24-hour gas station. Damn, that's hard, cuz. Man, when this song came out, you know, like all the homies in Miami, they were really rocking with it. The fans that I had like a mailing list that I had accumulated from Bandcamp at that time that was also rocking with it too. I don't really upload to Bandcamp anymore. I had kind of moved on to the Spotify's and Apple Music's and SoundCloud and YouTube, really. But at that time, yeah, man, that was something that was very well received, bro. And every time that I would perform this record, bro, like, this is the thing, man. Like, I gotta give a big shout out to like homies like Looney Lovin' and Kosi Victor from Props and Bonds, and you know, obviously the big homie H2O and Charlie Fast, and the people in South Florida that appreciate the music that I do and go as far as to, like, you know, they'll buy the record, they'll put it in their phones, they'll do the screenshot and like kind of repost it throughout the years, you know. And man, I love y'all, man. You know, I really appreciate this. It's so crazy because I see other peers of mine that made better business decisions than I did at that time, and obviously they flourished, you know. They flourished their careers. Like, they kind of, you know, established themselves to a point where they're touring nationally and stuff. And man, it's all love to them, bro, because I know I'm on my way. You know, really, I have until April, bro. I get off probation in April. But you know, at that time, I would come out with this music, and it being so well received is such a morale raiser. It raises your spirits, bro, because it's like the thing that you choose to do with your life to get like the reception from people, like they understand it, it's well received, is awesome, bro. Cause Lord knows that I've put out some music that since then that, yeah, you know, it kind of fell on deaf ears here and there, and then later on it gets discovered, and you know, that's great too. But I remember at this time when I would come out with, like, for example, this song 4, I was really on my indie grind in the city. I would go out skateboarding, and stencil the logo. I would really on my hip hop shit, man. My book bag only had some spray cans and the stencil and a skateboard, and I'll be riding around in like a fucking hoodie, which made no sense in Miami, but I would just, on my lonely, bro, just go out there and just make my mark, bro. And I do remember bumping this record like a lot. I remember I came out with this record and it was on repeat for a good little while. You know, I feel like I still do that to this day. I'll put out a new song and that song is literally the only thing that I bump like over and over and over again. And it's not just to fan out on my own shit. It's more like, is it going to sound just as good today as it did yesterday type of shit, you know? But, yeah, man, this was cool, man. Like, let me know if y'all rocking with this whole concept of me kind of like delving into some old records or whatever. You know, feel free to drop a comment or, you know, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing to kind of like let me know if you're rocking with this or not. But, you know, I figure it's Thursday. It happened to be 4 a.m. when I pressed record on my recorder, and I was like, damn, let's do 4, bro. You know, I was gonna do a whole other song, but DJ Tr3s, man, one of the best producers from South Florida that I've had the pleasure to work with. I've seen him win beat competitions. I've seen him DJ at shows and just kick it and have a good time, man. Really good brother, man. You know, so make sure you hit him up. That's DJ Tr3s, as in the number 3 in Spanish, but it's a DJ Tr, the number 3, the letter S. DJ Tr3s. All right, hit him up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. You know, Instagram, SoundCloud, all that. Make sure you check out Buena Gente and Transit City, Good Grief, the whole catalog. Cause if you haven't heard a project of mine, it's there waiting for you, bro. I have a, you know, like my soul is in that music, bro. Straight up. All right. And one last thing, yo, Mowgli, don't be mad at me, cause if you listen to this and you're like, why the fuck are you explaining all this music? Like, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this, bro. I really don't know why. All right, y'all. Peace, man.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.
Medianoche.
Podcast.
Medianoche.
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 Podcast.